Hey YouTube land, Anders here, doing another action figure review. Well, not so much in brand new action figure, more than a vintage line. And I'm hoping it's something that may get picked up from a company to make more of. Because with the recent announcement from Super 7 that they're dabbling in the Visionaries line, there was another famous or infamous, I suppose, short-lived action figure line using holograms on figures back in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. And that is a figure line by a company that was not really known for doing action figures, which is Tonka. Now, if you're familiar with the name Tonka, or have at least heard the name Tonka, you will know they're more akin to die-cast or metal trucks. Their Tonka toys used to be Tonka trucks and stuff like that. You know, they'd be like vehicles. They did actually have a short-lived line of small 12-inch, or not 12-inch, 3¼ figures with vehicles. But this is their kind of well, maybe there is others out there, but this is one of the lines I know of where they stepped away from the whole die-cast metal vehicle thing and kind of tried to step into the action figure market. Now, I don't have a huge amount of these guys. This is literally all I have, plus a sword. This poor sword is off the Heroes, I believe, Lionheart, which is the good guy leader. Skull was the bad guy leader. So I have one good guy, one bad guy, and one of the ghostlings who I believe were good guys and bad guys. I think this is a good guy one. He has at least the name suggests he's a good guy, but what we'll do is we'll get into the good guy that I have first, which is Thunderbolt. Now, unfortunately, I do not have a complete version of Thunderbolt. He is missing his weapon, his shield, and his helmet. He should have a Viking stylish sort of helmet. This guy has a very Thor Viking motif going on. Now, I'm not sure if you can see his face appearing on screen. It is hard sometimes to get them to react to the light, or if I put too much light on it, you mightn't be able to see it. But the gimmick with all these guys, at least the larger figures, is they had a breastplate that you could remove. I can see it there, and when you change them in the light, you could see they actually changed their, well, appearance is the best way, kind of like in Humanoids, where Thunderbolt here turns from like a dude with a necklace on to like an energy. He still has the head, but I think he's supposed to be like an energy bolt thing, hence the name Thunderbolt. I do not have his shield, and again, as I said, I do not have his weapon. The other gimmick with these guys is their weapons are glow in the dark. So Lionheart's sword here is a glow in the dark sword, and his shield, had a shield for him, would also have a big whatchamacallit, and this is one of the things that is very common on these guys. Unfortunately, they are prone to breaking. So, unfortunately, this guy seems to have decided to break. This is Snakebite, and unfortunately, he has broken. As you can see, these guys, especially the gold plastic ones, Lionheart especially, is notorious for having gold plastic syndrome. So this is his shield. As you can see, it has a kind of snake motif on it, which is pretty cool. So this poor guy is going to have to get a arm glued on. As you can see, I was moving it around. I probably shouldn't have bothered moving it, but he has a very cool snake motif. He does have his hat. It's a very gummy rubbery piece, so I'm assuming the hat that would be for Thunderbolt back there would also have the same thing. I'm not I'm going to try and move his hand slightly so it's out of the way. This guy also has a chest piece thing. And you can see he has a very snake and then a kind of normal looking body. Well, normal-esque looking body. Has like a kind of goatee and tribal tattoos and stuff on. And then he becomes the snake appearance. He has a very, I wouldn't say he has a very Egyptian motif going, but his weapon does look like the twin asps from ancient Egypt. His headpiece is also adorned in a sort of almost pharaoh-esque style look. So I think he's supposed to be sort of mummy, sort of knight. A lot of these guys had sort of knight stuff going on. And then for this guy, which is the Ghostling, the only Ghostling I have, and this is actually one I got recently. It's actually one I had as a kid. I had him and Lionheart as a kid, and I think I had one other Ghostling, which was a green one. I have a vague recollection of having a green version. This guy is called Mr. Lucky. So the one interesting thing about these guys, these were smaller, as you can see, than the main figures. His hands are actually glow in the dark as well as his weapon. They didn't come with the shield, or a shield. You can take the kind of centerpiece out of them, and you can see there's like a clear plastic with a kind of ghostly appearance. And then you had the ghost inside, and then these casings that would go over them to give them their arms. And I know there was like a tie-in comic book for these guys, but I never really read it. I don't know how long the comic book lasted for, because I think it was just something that might have been packed in with figures and gave a kind of brief backstory. There was some really cool but very rare and hard to get pieces for this line. So there's only about 6 figures for the initial wave of big guys, and then I think there's about 6 Ghostlings. So it's a very small line, but there's some very rare, hard to get vehicles. There's 2 car style vehicles. There's the bad guys one, which kind of looks like a hearse, if I remember correctly, and then the good guys is kind of red, all of which had holograms. There was a tomb playset type thing, kind of similar akin to Mumra's tomb, where you had like a centerpiece with a coffin that when you put a figure in would kind of, I think, make the figure disappear or something along those lines. And then I believe, I could be mixing it up, but there was 2 riding creatures, one for Skull, one for Lionheart. I've seen images of of like creatures that they can be ridden, but they have the classic thing like the old, I think they did it the same, like the old Tauntauns from Star Wars, where you had like a sculpted piece on the side with the legs, and then you because these guys don't really go into a seated position. Like the legs do bend for seating, but for riding an animal, they wouldn't have that leg stretch. So it is interesting to see. Now, unfortunately, this guy did manage to break on me on screen, which is a pain in the arse. But I'll just have to roll with it. I might try and pick up a replacement one, even just a beater one with the torso and the arm pegs. But again, if you're looking for these guys on secondary market, 9 times out of 10, you'll find them with either the arm broken off or the hologram has been stored in really bad condition and the hologram is destroyed. So if you do want to go down the route of picking these guys up and you want to get a hologram that's reasonably good, just keep an eye on the holograms and try not to store it in direct sunlight. The direct sunlight will break the holograms over time, similar to how the Visionaries ones will break if you store them in direct sunlight as well. But overall, it is a cool line, except for the unfortunate gold plastic syndrome, or GPS, which I think only really Lionheart and this poor guy suffer from the most, because they are gold plastic. The others aren't, but the arms do tend to break off them. So it is something to watch out for. So there you go, guys. I'm going to wrap this up here. I know it's a short video, or a short-ish video, but hope you enjoyed this quick little look at the Supernaturals. And if anyone has any recommendations on how to repair these guys, I would love to see it. So cheers, thanks for watching, and hope you enjoy your day wherever you are in the world. Thanks.